All right, welcome to our last art lesson this week. This is going to be a review of how to make your own art idea and make decisions about what you make and what you use to make your artwork, and also talk about your work when you finish and explain your artwork. So, what does that look like? Let's review some examples. So this is a hawk. Her name is Za, and she has a family who is from Pakistan, which is a country. And I'm going to explain to you what that might sound like if she talked about her art. She might say something like, I made a picture of Pakistan because it's my culture. I drew it with pencil. Then I colored it with marker. So she was using this to talk about the steps in her artwork and the art material she chose. So let's see. There are a few parts of explaining your art. It's important to tell the person listening what art material you use. This is a very important decision that you make as an artist based on what you have nearby, or also what art materials you like using, because you like using different materials than someone else. It's something that makes you unique. So it's important to tell somebody what art materials you used. And it's also important to explain the story behind your artwork. So you can tell a story with a beginning, middle, and end about your process. So your process is the steps that you took to make your art. So you can use the first, next, and last protocol to do this. And when you squeeze supplies and process together and you explain both at the same time, the person listening really gets a great idea of what it was like to make your artwork and the important decisions you made in that process. So throughout this year so far, we've been learning a lot of different ways to express yourself. We've been learning what it takes to have your own idea and make your own idea. It's kind of tricky. It takes practice to be able to come up with an idea all on your own. So we are going to spend some time practicing doing this. If you get stuck, you can pause and be kind to yourself and maybe explore some materials while you wait for your idea to come. Some ideas you could make, ideas about places that you like, animals you like, your family, maybe use your imagination. You could tell some stories with your art. You could make art inspired by other artists or other cultures. You could use your memories for your artwork, maybe some feelings or emotions. You could get inspired by nature or some of your favorite things. So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna give you some time and you're gonna make something new. So this is an opportunity for you to show me that you can make an idea all by yourself. So I'm not going to tell you what to make. You have to pick it out. You have to show your unique identity with your ideas. You also get to make a decision about what art materials you use. So you can choose any art supplies that you like using for your idea today. So I'm gonna give you some time to work. Make sure you have something to put your idea on, maybe something to draw your idea with, and something to add color. So I'm gonna play music and let you work for a little bit, and then I'm going to stop and pause so we can reflect and think about our work and practice talking about it. So it's time to go ahead and get started on your drawings. All right. Let's go ahead and pause and put our art materials down. And let's take some time to think about our work and share our thoughts about our work with our grown-up. Or maybe you could talk to your pet about it, or maybe a stuffed animal, or just think to yourself and tell yourself the answers to these questions. So we've been practicing learning to talk about our work. We learned to use to talk about the art supplies we chose and also talking about our process. So I want you to answer the question, what did you make? Tell your grown-up or your pet or your stuffed animal or yourself, what did you make today? Okay. And I want you to say, when you first started your project, when you first took out your paper and got started, you picked up an art supply and you started drawing. What is the first thing you drew on your paper to make your idea? What was the first detail you added? Okay, and then you probably added something else. What did you add next to your art project? Okay, and right before we stopped, you added one more thing to your art. Or maybe you have a plan to add something else to it in a moment when you have time to finish. What are you planning to add, or what did you add last? Okay, and I want to make sure that I know what art supplies you chose to use. So what art supply did you use to make your project? Did you use only one, or did you use more than one? Okay, so now we've talked about our art and you did a great job practicing. So in the next part, there's going to be a place for you to post a picture of what you made and maybe share something about it in the next slide. So good job this week, and I'll see you soon.